Hey, good evening, Hope Shot family, and welcome to Sunday Night Topics. Tonight we have our special guest, Kelsey, and she has brought us the topic of perseverance. And so I need somebody to read the clarity statement. Caesar, are you
Read it.
for that?
Hold on. I got wifey on here.
I'm going to read it. I'm going to do something.
All right.
The Hope Shot Clarity Statement. We here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being a part of our family. I'm going to memorize that one day.
Thank you, Kelly.
That'd be awesome. Just recite it off of heart. That'd be great. Anyway, so welcome back, guys. I got Angel on here. What's up, Angel? If you guys could share this live video, we'd appreciate it. You never know who this might help. So tonight we're going to do perseverance, and I am going to give it to Caesar and let him start it off.
Stuff? That's good. You've been through some stuff, man.
Wait a second. That's not how this was supposed to go at all. Okay. Perseverance, huh? Oh, man. Okay. So somebody told me early on that we do recovery no matter what. And I didn't really know what that meant early on in the game. But, you know, as the weeks, the months, the years start to pile up, life doesn't get any easier just because we've put down a drink or a drug or anything like that. Life's still tough, and we're still going to face things. And that phrase rings home to me more now than ever, because I do recovery no matter what. It doesn't matter how good things are, how bad things are. I've got to put my recovery first. So in, what was it, my second year?
Third, I think. No, second. No,
second.
You're right. Second.
My second year sober, my dad got sick, and I lost my dad. And I was, let me back up a little bit. My dad got sick, and I had some time with him. He was in the hospital, and I was talking to the people in my support network. And, you know, I was doing the whole, oh, poor me, you know, you can't believe what I'm going through, and I, me. And guy turned it around on me and said, it's not about you. You know, this is the first time that you're in a position that you can offer something to your family, that you can be of service, you can be of support to them. So stop making it about yourself and see what you can do to make the situation better for the people around you that you've spent your whole life making their life miserable. Now it's your turn to be there for them. And I held on to that. And when I focused on trying to be there for my sister, for my mother, for my brother, it wasn't hard. You know, it wasn't a struggle to stay sober, because I was focused on what I could do for somebody else, you know. And that's, for me, that's the program in a nutshell. You go fast forward almost exactly 1 year, and my mother is in the same situation. And, you know, I was with Kelly at the time. We had her in hospice, and I was able to be there and hold her hand, talk to her the whole time, that whole year that she was in assisted living. We went there every day, and, well, pretty close to every day, at least every other day, and would stop in, sit there, spend time with her. She had Alzheimer's, so sometimes I was just talking to her about stuff that happened 20 years ago, because that's where she thought she was. She truly believed that she was in a hotel that had room service, and who am I to tell her that she's not in a hotel with room service?
So sweet. She would call and ask us to get her Happy Meals.
Yeah. And she'd ask me if I wanted to go down to the coffee shop, you know, in the hotel. And I'd say, don't worry, Mom, I'll order down to the coffee shop and have it brought into your room for you. But none of these things that in active addiction would have been a huge excuse to go out. Oh, my father died. My mother's dying. I can't stay sober. it was the exact opposite. It was all about what I could do, how I could be there and be present and be of service. And I mean, that's the biggest turnaround I've ever seen in my life, is not running away from something, running towards it, going through it, feeling every bit of it, and coming out the other side stronger so I can share that experience with somebody else. So when somebody says, hey, my father's sick, I don't think I can stay sober through this thing, I can say, yeah, you can. Let me tell you how I did it. And, you know, perseverance is a good topic, because if anybody believes that we're going to get put down a drink or put down a drug and just have this magical rainbow unicorn life with no problems, no hardships, no anything, you're absolutely fooling yourself. Life's tough in general. Then you put all the crap that we've got, and then it gets exponentially harder.
And
we
busier.
come, yeah,
And
well,
busier.
we come with like a whole bag of BS, you know, freaking anxious, freaking nervous wrecks that are just figuring out how to do life and how to be freaking responsible adults. You know, we've talked about on here, I don't know how many times, where the kids wearing adult suits every day, that we go out and we don't feel like we're these responsible human beings, but we are. We are responsible human beings, and we are people that you can look to and that you can trust. And that's because we lean on this power that we have. We have, as Nate calls it, we have our source, and then we have our circle of people that are on the same path with us. And that makes us strong. It's when I get outside of that and I want to just think about Caesar only, that makes me weak, and that makes me able to get picked off. But when I stay in the middle and I stay strong with my friends and I stay strong connection to my higher power, I can do anything. I can make it through anything. It may be hard as hell, but I can do it.
No, the core of that to me is that you go through things, right? You go through them, you heal yourself. I mean, with obviously a higher power in our circumstance, and then you turn back around and you help the next person. And that right there to me is how perseverance works. Yeah, I think you did a great job of sharing that. Like, life doesn't stop just because we are in recovery or because we get clean or get sober. As a matter of fact, we feel it even more. But, you know.
Yeah, what was that thing that they say early on? They're like, the good news is that you get your feeling back.
Yeah.
And the bad news is that you get your feelings back.
And you know what? None of those feelings killed us, right? Like, we've gone through it and it's made us persevere and made us even stronger. They don't kill you. But I mean, they're definitely a roller coaster ride in the first couple of years. I'll say that.
Amen.
Yeah.
But I would really just love to hear what Kelsey has to say about this. I feel like that she's going to do big things and tell us awesome things. So Kelsey, jump right on in here. Just, you know,
do you feel like I'm going to persevere?
Love you so much.
I came on this sick to make sure I was here for you, Kelsey. We love you.
Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that, because your husband was giving me a hard time before the meeting.
But it's only because I love you and I want you to persevere through this broadcast.
If it makes you feel better, he does that to everybody.
Yes, I
know. As one of my oldest friends in recovery, I know. Gosh. So I've been thinking about this topic for a while today, like milling it over, and like what it meant to me, what that word meant to me in my life before and what it meant to me now. And like before I got sober, I couldn't complete a task. I couldn't like get over any obstacles in life, like anything that a normal person would, like live up to the definition of the word persevere. I would give up. I would become complacent. But not only that, I would blame everybody else for me for why it didn't work out in my life. Like I was unable to just live a life. I mean, I persevered. I got what I wanted every single day, but what I wanted was to get high, and I destructed a lot of lives in the meantime. I hurt a lot of people. I hurt myself. I discounted my life a lot. I used that word. I did do that on a daily basis, but I wasn't using it correctly. You know, I was certainly using that incorrectly. I think the last thing I accomplished was I barely graduated high school. But until then, like, I couldn't keep a job down. I couldn't do anything. Anything I started, you know, you'd make these like grand gestures. You'd get, I would get, you know, lit up like a Christmas tree, and I'd be like, I'm going to go do this tomorrow, and this is going to be different, and this is how this is going to be different. And like, you wake up the next day and the cycle just remains the same. Nothing changes, you know, like I couldn't. I had good intentions with it, but I couldn't. But, you know, today my life is so different. And, you know, I live by some words. Am I allowed to say sponsor on this? My mentor, my sponsor, you know, she tells me, like, do this every day as if you are going to die if you don't. And that's what I do. In my first, I think also my second year of sobriety, I have grandma and grandpa. I call them Bear and Grandbear, so that's how I'm going to refer them. But Bear was dying of stage 4 lung cancer, and Grandbear was on this. I think the girl who spoke Wednesday spoke about this. She was in like a medically induced psychosis. So like, my poor Bear had to, like, he was like literally dying. He was skeletal, and he had to like take care of my crazy ass grandma. And last time I spoke to them, I was in Key West begging them for money, telling them I couldn't pay my electric bill or my rent. And I was, you know, making them wire me money for drugs. And I was able to like go there and help my Bear like grocery shop and get the house cleaned, and, you know, give my Grandbear a bath, and like help them like sort out her medications so she wasn't like hallucinating that there was bugs everywhere. And like, it was a very crazy time. And you know, like, I got to be there and complete a task. Before he died, he got to see his granddaughter like follow through with what she said she was going to do, and like suit up and show up and walk the talk, and like, and be there and be of service to him. And, you know, like, not only that, but on a different level, just persevering through the bullshit of life. Like, life is hard. Life happens. You get sober and it's fun and it's gummy bears and rainbows, and then life happens. And, you know, like, I was 6 months sober and I was pregnant and I lost that baby. I lost a child, and I persevered through that. I persevered through my program. I persevered through the higher power I had to put my everything into, and just let it go. And lo and behold, I got through it, and I was okay. I was okay after that, because I pushed through and I kept going. I didn't give up and throw my arms up and do what I normally do and do some crazy self-destructive behavior and bring everybody down with me because I wasn't having a good time. And, you know, then a little bit after that, my now husband, he relapsed. He put us in horrible debt, and he lied to me, and he did some other things that were very hurtful. And, you know, somebody sat me down and they said, you knowing and willingly got into a relationship with someone who is just like you. Are you willing to go with what may come with that? And I had to make a decision, and I chose yes. So I persevered through that. And he almost has 5.5 years sober now, and we got through that. And, you know, there's so many things that happen in life, but today I can know that I am supposed to be where I am at this very moment, and I am going to be okay no matter what. But I have to persevere and get through these obstacles if I want to stay where I am and push forward and be a better person on the other side of it, and stay sane and stay sober. Then that's what I'm going to do, because I have never once taken 2 steps back in my recovery. I have taken very fucking slow steps forward, but I have never taken a step back before. And that's because of the way I live my life today. I don't throw my arms up in the air and give up. I don't turn my back on things. I suit up, I show up, I give this away to other people. I try to walk the talk. I try to live this in my world of employment. I definitely live it in my marriage because that's something that you're constantly building upon. I try to, I try to do these things. And when life gets shitty and when life gets tough, there are some times where I just want to kick and scream. I'll have a bunch of anxiety attacks about it. I'm really, really good at that. However, I don't give up. And I can tell you that I've never been a worse person because of the things that are thrown at me. I've never been a sadder person. Momentarily I might be, but I'm always coming out the other side a better, stronger person. And right now I'm dealing with my stepson. I have him 100% of the time. He is fully mine, and he is threatening to kill kids at school, and he's doing all these crazy things and getting suspended, and we are pretty freaking wholesome over here at our house. And I'm like, what's wrong with him? What am I doing wrong? And, I find myself like crippled by this. Sometimes it rents so much space in my head. But at the end of the day, when I lay my head on the pillow, I know I'm doing the best I can for this kid. And if I persevere through this, I know there's a reason that it's happening, because I have full faith in that, and that we're all going to be a stronger unit when we come out of the other side of this. He's going through something. My role is to be there for him and help him figure it out. And until then, I'm not going to stop trying. I'm not just going to be like, sorry, little 8-year-old boy, you're on your own. I gotta go. You are really cramping my style. I can't do that. I cannot do that today. If I want to stay sober, if I want to raise this little boy to not be a me, I'm going to try. And, life is going to keep throwing these things my way. And, I'm grateful for them. Not in the moment, I'm not grateful for them, but hindsight is 2020. And I wouldn't change anything in the past almost 7 years of my sobriety that has happened the way it has, because I look back and I am in a better place today because of it. And so when I feel like giving up, and it's not always these big grand things that I'm talking about. Sometimes I was at the hospital with him last week because he was sick, and I stubbed my toe outside and I got so mad. Sometimes moments like that make me want to throw my hands in the air and give up. Those minor inconveniences in life are actually more dangerous to me than these big things. And it's when those little things pile up is when I struggle the worst with it. But I keep moving forward, and I make sure I take the steps to, I call people about it. I pray about it. I make sure I'm doing something for someone else about it, but I definitely try not to stay in my head about it, because if I tell myself what I need to be doing, I'm going to be taking a step in the wrong direction. I need to hear it from someone else and something else, because I make bad decisions for me. That's my initial instinct is, what you should do about this, Kelsey? But no, you shouldn't do that. But that's where I am today with it. I just keep moving forward. I keep putting one foot in front of the other today, and it has never, ever done me wrong. As long as my motives are good, as long as I'm trying to do the next right thing, as long as I don't give up or lose faith or just go back to old behaviors about it, I'm going to be okay no matter what. And as long as I believe that, it has never done me wrong. But that's what I'm going to share. So thank you.
Thank you, Kelsey. So I'm gonna give it over to Johnny and Lisa. They're a squad.
Hey, how are you guys? I feel like I haven't been on in forever.
All right. What's up, guys? All right. So, perseverance for me, when Kelsey was talking and Caesar, I was thinking of, my first real attempt at recovery began in 2012. And you know, it seemed like I think I was 36 years old in a treatment center. I had a hamper full of dirty clothes, 4 teeth in my mouth, and like no license, no nothing, no family, no nothing. And I just thought, like, man, you know, my life's over and I'm 36 years old. And then I went into treatment and I started to get some hope. And I looked at the pile of shit that was my life, and I was like, "Holy shit, I've got a lot of stuff to really, really tackle." You know, and I was taught early on, even when I didn't even believe it, that this process of recovery would make everything okay eventually if I continued to do this stuff and made it the forefront of my life. You know, and at first I didn't do that. You know. I did. You guys, most of you guys know my story. Like, I did that in the beginning. I went hard. I was, you know, super gut, and I got all those things that I thought my life, you know, needed to complete. I got some teeth. I got, you know, all those things, right? And I thought when I began that, like, that was my whole thing. It was my whole world. You know, I wasn't thinking about, and the word perseverance, I didn't even know it. I couldn't even have told you what that meant then. I didn't even know what humility meant. I didn't know any of these things. When I got here, I was just like fucking Beavis and Butthead, dude. Straight up. That was it. And you know, I started to go through this process. My life started to get better and life started to also show up. And you know, in the beginning, we're not really geared to learn how to deal with any of that stuff, man. So um I slipped and fell and I stayed out for about a year. And in that process, I picked up an understanding of these words that I didn't understand and the actions that were behind them, you know. And um, I got clean again in 2015. And I devoted my life to this stuff. I knew, I learned the hard way, you know. I knew that this had to be the most important thing in my life and that everything else would fall into place. I had to honestly believe that and that God would work it all out no matter what it is, you know. And in the last almost 7 years, I've been through some tough stuff, man, sober, some really tough stuff. You know, I carry a lot of guilt and shame over my mom and dad's relationship. You know, they got divorced after 33 years. I took that whole load on. So, you know, just in the last decade or even 2012, 13, I started to somewhat mend this relationship with my mom, you know, and she started to get sick. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I was scared. I've told the story before, but I was scared that, like, God had put these little things in my path because, you know, this is bad neighborhood for us. And, like, so, you know, in my mind, I knew that my mom was dying. So I would say to myself, like, wow, man, am I going to get high over this stuff, you know, or am I going to be able to make this through? I'm asking God, I'm asking myself, like, and, and I had this little moment. I was with a buddy. He was messed up, and he got the phone call that his father died. So I witnessed the whole thing, and I knew that he was going to go get high over it. And I like walked out in the hallway, and I said to myself out loud, like, "My mom died, so I got high." And I said it again, and it sounded so disgustingly selfish and crazy to me at that point. And I think I had 3 years, a little over 3 years at that point. And like I knew that I was going to be able to persevere through that. And like that whole time I was able to, like you guys shared, I was able to show up. And like between my family, my mom wanted me by her side, you know, and she said these things to me like, um, you know, I don't know what it is you're doing this time because there's been millions of times, right? Um, but this time is different and I'm no longer worried about you. And that's probably still to this day the best nugget I've gotten in 7 years, you know. And that kind of really for me laid the footwork in an understanding of perseverance, you know. So I'm like, God damn, if I got through that and everything is good, like it really can't get much worse than that. And then, you know, here comes life showing up and, you know, all of us in this room right now and out there that we're speaking with, I've probably lost 15 friends in the last 3 years, you know, people that were dearly close to me. Um, had to set up memorials, had to do all these things, show up in people's lives that, you know, were suffering, and be the glimmer of hope, or, you know, the one that was strong-willed, um, in order to help people, man. And I honestly believe that God has kind of designed this whole thing of recovery for people like us, so that it comes around and it comes full circle. I am now armed with the ability to persevere. But, you know, like Kelsey was saying, when I was out there, man, like that was, I thought that I was like stuck in this thing, man. I was stuck in that thing, but like I would do the same thing. I would say, man, next week I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm gonna get my license, my teeth are getting fixed, I'm gonna get a job. And then I would wake up the next day and be like, damn, I gotta call so and so because I don't feel good. And then when I feel better, I'll do it again, you know. And that was my life for 15 years, you know what I mean? And I think, man, as I go through and I continue to stay sober and I continue to do what, you know, we learn in this thing, man, I get a better understanding of all these things, and I learn a little bit more each day how to show up. And I trust, like Kelsey said, I trust the fact that, like, you know, being at this point in my life, in my recovery, in my sobriety, like, no matter what it is, like, I can't get drunk and high over it. So, like, and the reality is the obsession for that shit has been removed from me, man. I don't ever, I shared that with a guy that I'm working with right now. Like, and that it amazes me that I said, like, hey, man, in almost 7 years, I haven't once, even when my mom was dying, all this other crazy stuff, I never thought, like, man, it would be nice to whatever, you know, that wasn't a thought, you know. So yeah, you know, we're blessed that we have this thing. Because a lot of people, they're not even one of us, and they don't have the ability to persevere. You know, people cave, or, you know, just not able to function through, you know, whatever issue it is. And we're blessed with this thing, man. A power greater than ourselves, a group of people who are exactly like us, who know are crazy and are awkward, because I am fucking awkward. And so yeah, that's my take on perseverance. Here's the better half.
That was good. Hey, everybody. Dude, so like, thank you for sharing, Kelsey. I don't think I've ever heard you share before, so it's cool. But like, what comes to mind when I think of perseverance, like the first thing that came to my mind was like pushing through the wreckage of my past, because I had a lot of it, a lot. And like, I'm just gonna tell you. So recently, a family member of mine who I haven't spoken to in a very long time, like probably 10 years, reached out to me and asked me to dinner. And, you know, I like dreamed of this for like the past like 5.5 years that I've been here, right? I've literally like, this was fantasy to me because I thought it was so far, what's the word? Far-fetched. And over these past 5 years, I've continuously, almost every month, emailed this person. I'm not going to put her out there, but emailed this person just saying like, hey, I'm alive, things are good, I hope you're doing well, so on and so forth, right? So after 5.5 years, she responded and said that she's going to be in the next town over next month and wants to meet with me. And like,
I lost my shit.
Like, I literally, I dropped to the floor and like literally hysterically cried. I'm not gonna cry now because I always cry when I'm on here. But this is something like super special to me, that I lost a connection with somebody who I did it, you know, I disconnected from my whole entire family. So perseverance and continuously doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know, they always say the next right thing, helping people. I think, you know, helping people, like Johnny said, it all comes full circle. And it's not like you help people to get something, but it's like that's how God sees fit. It always comes back no matter what. Even if we're going through like all these hard, crazy times, like there's always something at the end. And like when me and Johnny are going through something, I'm like, I cannot wait to see the end of this, because like holy crap, we're going through it, you know? Um, but like just pushing through the stuff that you don't want to do, like those emails that I had in, like, I'm like, it's never gonna happen, never gonna happen, and but I kept doing it, you know. God has a plan, and who am I to say what any of that plan is or what it's supposed to be? You know what I mean? And I think that like no matter what, like Johnny was saying, like that the taste of drugs and alcohol has literally like been removed from my tongue. Like it's gone. Like I don't, like we joke about things, but like I don't want it. And I know that like it's because I continuously do all this stuff that, you know, recovery entails. I don't want to do the work. Are you kidding me? Like I just did some work with my sponsor not too long ago, and I sat on that shit for a good 6 months because I didn't want to, but it's just doing it. And at the end, it's always at the end, you're like, aha. And then you go like this, you know, you're like pop yourself in the head, like, okay, I get it now, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, and thanks for coming on, Kelsey.
Thank you, Johnny and Lisa, and thank you for sharing that, Lisa. Like that's good shit right there. That's that perseverance, keeping up those emails, because like you can be like, they don't care about me. Fuck it. Why am I doing it? It's a waste of time. And then, dude, you get it
She's
that
been
one
there,
day.
trust me. In the last 5 years, I've heard all of it.
Yeah,
Trust
like
me.
why am I
And I'm
doing
like,
this?
keep doing it.
That's super cool.
It's gonna happen.
That's a cool story. Thank you. So I'm gonna give it to Nate. Nate,
What up?
Serial killer.
Serial killer. Okay.
Nate
Stradamus.
Stradamus.
Nate Stradamus. I love that one.
Yeah. All right. Can you guys give me a break here now? Now, you know, now I'm all in my head now. All right.
That's a compliment, Nate.
I know that's exactly my problem. I don't think I'm worthy of compliments, you know? That's not true. Sometimes, maybe not this late at night though. So anyway, thank you, Kelsey, for coming on here, being vulnerable, you and your anxious self. I know how difficult it is for you, which makes it even more profound and meaningful. And yeah, I think this is a really great topic. I about cried when Lisa was telling me that, because I know I too have been hearing that, you know, since I came around, and you know, I didn't even know that happened. So I'm grateful to hear that right now, man. That's what it's all about, you know. And so perseverance for me, I could relate to a lot what Kelsey was saying, because I know what perseverance means. I was a heroin junkie. You know what I mean? That takes some serious perseverance. Now, I'm not saying that it's a positive thing, but you know, by any means, I was going to be well. You know, whatever that looked like, and whoever was in my way, didn't really matter. You know, it was going to happen, and that's the way it was. And man, it's funny. We get here, and so the very things that will set us free, which is some you know, this process, some steps, you know, surrendering, asking for help, you know, from another and something outside of me. The very things that can liberate all this guilt and shame and regret and anxiety and low self-esteem and me feeling like a scumbag are the very things that I don't want to do. Like, it is, I am terrified to like do the very things that will help me. You know, it's the same reason when I was out there, everybody that tried to help me, everybody that tried to reach out to me, my family, friends, Johnny and Lisa, you know, I pushed them away because guess what? I don't want to look at myself. You know what I mean? I know what I've done. You know, I'm not oblivious to the person I've become. And even more so, I am so consumed with all these emotions, man. Like I am just a mess, you know? So when I get here and people are like, man, you got to take a look at your part. I'm like, my part? I'm like, nah, man. And so for me, perseverance, man, somebody said at the meeting Friday, he said, he goes, I've been sober for 37 years from what I learned in the first 90 days, you know? And to me, this is so true because we're afforded, you know, really early on. If, I mean, you know, if we kind of, you know, meet the requirements, and I'm not talking about like you have to meet the requirements of some board or council or anything like that, but if we admit in our, you know, to ourselves like what we are and what we've done and ask for help, you know, sincerely ask, you know, and start really working on ourselves, there's certain things afforded to us early on, and it's these very things, these basic principles, these this, how do I say it, kind of like I had no idea how to live. I had no idea how to be responsible. I had no idea what being an adult meant. I had no idea of what a friend meant, to be a brother, to be an employee. Like I had zero frame of reference. I spent half my life in a penitentiary. You know what I mean? Like I had no frame of reference for the life that was in front of me. You know, so you know, I was super like vulnerable and scared, and I had no idea like how to move forward. And like I said, I made some decisions. I surrendered, and I got with some people, and some things started happening. Man, they started showing me how what it meant. And to me, perseverance means for me personally is doing some very simple things on a daily basis, regardless of what's going on in my life. You know, regardless if, you know, my first year, you know, and like with Johnny and Caesar and like we've all talked about and shared upon, I'm sure everybody can relate to, is, you know, my first year of sobriety, I lost my mom. My first year of sobriety, I lost complete custody of my daughter. Can't legally really ever get her back. You know, like these, and you know, this and instead, because I was doing exactly what my mentors and what was suggested to me, you know, I didn't even think twice about going out or doing something like that. You know, it made me dig in deeper. And there's something that happens when we get in here and we surround ourselves with the right people and connect to whatever our source is, whatever that looks like. There's something that happens, and there's something that happened to me, which is I understood finally that certain behaviors were not my solution anymore. Because guess what? Drugs and alcohol were a great solution until they weren't, you know. And once I discovered that that is a lie, that is some, you know, fantasy that I perpetuated from my teenage years, that like this could be, you know, some type of problem solver, you know, and I started to experience true joy, because I believe happiness is fleeting, but like that true joy, it's like there's some that's what sticks, you know, when you start to feel that joy and serenity and peace of mind. And I started to experience that, and I understood that it didn't come from anything artificial, and also didn't come from my own fucking ideas, because left to my own devices, you know, I'd be in some trap house doing what I do, you know. And so yeah, so I just keep doing what was kind of taught to me early on. And you know what, you'll hear people say it, and I think I've shared this on our Sunday nights before, is like, you'll hear people say a lot like, I don't have another run in me, you know, like, I can't, like, I know that I have runs left in me. I know what I am capable of. I understand that completely. That doesn't scare me. What this is what terrifies me is what I would feel like if I stopped doing what I'm doing, you know, not like if I'd go back and stick a needle in my arm, but how I felt, how empty and vacant and anxiety ridden and awkward and all these things I felt right before I started doing some serious work on myself. You know, I never want to feel like that. So what do? What is my solution today? I continue to do everything that I was taught. I pray every morning. I ask for help. I meditate. I have a group of people that we are so tight and so connected that they won't allow me, you know, to be with the bullshit, you know, and they will fucking call me out, man. If and I'll do the same to them. And because what this recovery process affords us is finally to be connected to something that has a purpose, you know, like, because I know like everybody in here, we're just like, I always felt like I was just some wanderer, aimlessly fucking lost, you know, no purpose, you know, no rhyme or reason. This was who I was, whatever, you know, and to finally discover my purpose makes me want to keep persevering and keep showing up and understand 110% like that I have no idea what I'm doing, you know, I'm winging it, you know, and to keep asking for help, you know, and to rely on the very simple concepts that got me to this point that I'm at already. And just to always stay curious, man. I don't you know, you hear people on here, we talk about God, we talk about our source, we talk about these things. You know, this is something I have to persevere on, man. I came in here completely in the middle. Like, I had no beliefs, you know. The only thing I believed is that I was a fuck up. I knew that, you know what I mean? And I knew that if I continued to do what I was doing, I was going to die. And I was completely amazed that this hadn't happened already. I also believed that I wasn't worthy of anything good, you know, and that my perseverance, me continuing to show up and asking people for help, it allowed me to start letting some light in. And the more light that gets in, the more light I attract. And then I don't know. I think my my opinion is that it's these small things, man. These small habits, these behaviors that I do on a daily basis. That's what perseverance is to me. Is because when I get here praying, calling some stranger, asking, I'm supposed to call a few people. Like, it's the most humiliating, awkward thing that you could ever fucking do. But it's these fucking things. So today, I took a 30-minute drive to go see a sponsee. I talked to 6 different people. You know what I mean? It's natural. I don't even listen to music sometimes when I drive anymore, something that I love doing, because I am talking to all my people. You know what I mean? I'm touching base because it feels natural to me today. So like, that perseverance to me is taking this old way of living, these patterns, these behaviors, and instilling some different concepts, some different beliefs, some different behaviors, and it transforming your life. So what was foreign and completely fucking inconceivable, now it's what I do every day. I get on my knees and pray. What? God? You know, praying? That if someone talked about that around me, I would think you were fucking so square. I would probably make fun of you, if not to your face, behind your back for sure. You know, and today it's something I completely base my entire life on. It's so crazy, the transformation that happens if you just keep doing it, you know. And everybody's like, oh, just keep showing up. No. You better do some work too. I can keep showing up all the fuck I want, but if I'm not doing something, what is suggested, what has kept my peers sober for so long, and that's another thing. I surrounded myself around people that I look up to. I know that they have my best intentions, that, they don't care. They don't want anything from me but for me to succeed. And I am a socially awkward, anxious individual, man. Like, I have to consciously make myself go to like anything other than a meeting. And like, even this Saturday, I surfed in the morning. I came help my dad when I was done, and there was like this wedding, and I was all in my head about it. I'm calling Caesar and Kelly. I'm like, you guys better sit with me.
Chicken pizza.
Yeah. And
Chicken
I'm like,
pizza, baby.
and I just feel weird. And these are people that I'm around every day. And so like, I have to stay vigilant about these things I do so I can just feel fucking normal, man. And it gets easier. But I also know that I have tons of work to do. And guess what? I look forward to every single minute of it because like Elisa said it best, man. And Kelsey touched on it too. Like we're not in this thing to stay miserable. There are gifts and promises and blessings on the back end of this work, this perseverance, and I want to stick around for these things, man, because what I've seen already, I'm completely amazed by. I can't even conceive of what the next 3-4 years will bring. It's I'm just grateful to be on the ride, man. I love all you guys. And when I say that, I mean it. And yeah, perseverance. Yee.
Thanks, Nate. Hey, I have somebody that actually commented. Nate, can you see that?
I can.
Okay, he says, "Wow, I can really connect to Nate's story. I lost my kids a year and a half ago and been fighting to get them back. I'll have 10 months on November 23rd. Congratulations on that. When I was 2.5 months clean, I lost my kid's father to an overdose, and a lot of people were so afraid I was going to go back out. But I dug deeper and worked harder at this. By the grace of God, I have an amazing sponsor. I go to meetings, I do service work the steps, and take my personal inventory every night. I try to relate in some way to everyone." That's awesome. That's an awesome story, and that's exactly what perseverance is, man. When the shit hits fan. That's what I want. The shit hits fan.
Yeah. And also it's like, how easy, like I have excuse, like I know that I cannot go to a courthouse and legally ever get my daughter back. You know what I mean? I know that. And to know this, I am meant to be a father. Like, it is in my nature to be a father. I promise you. I didn't know it then, obviously, because I was a selfish, self-centered mess. But anyway, to know, to have that truth in front of you, like if I didn't have this program and my people and my source, it would be the easiest reason to go do what I always did, like Kelsey said. And but I know that's not the answer. I know that I have to keep moving forward to even give myself an opportunity to ever be in her life, and congratulations. I think that's an amazing testimony, man. 10 months clean. And I tell you, you're doing better than I am. I don't even do my daily inventory every night. So yeah, you're kicking ass, man.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, definitely. I don't do it either. There's a lot of things I don't do. I'm working on that, though.
Progress, not
exactly. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share on this one. I was in a meeting not too long ago, and this is actually the topic. And I go to this meeting because it's spiritual principles, and they always share on a topic. And I always have to look some up sometimes, especially because I'm like, okay, give me a cinnamon, throw me a bone here. I'm like, dumb it down a little bit. I need dumbed down words, and it is what it is. But it's somebody shared in the meeting. It was like, this recovery thing is it's not a race. There's no gold medal at the end. You know what I mean? This is something that you have to do daily. It's easier to give up too. And that old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Exactly what this is, man. This ain't for quitters, I'll tell you that. But it took me a long time to actually be on this course. So, like, because I'd be that one key tag, the revolving door. You know what I mean? Like it was just too hard for me because you had to persevere in the beginning going through those withdrawals. Huh? How about those? You know what I mean? And you don't even know what the hell is going on like after it. You know what I mean? You're like this recovery thing everybody keeps talking about. It's so grand and it looks so nice. It's like falling a rainbow to some kind of pot of gold, you know? And it's like, there's no pot of gold. And that's the truth. No Lucky Charms at the end. Magically delicious. I had to throw that in there, sorry. But it's like, man, you have to persevere through stuff and you have no clue how the outcome's going to be, but you just do it anyways. You know what I mean? Because for one thing, I got these people telling me it's fucking all sunshines and rainbows over there and they're happy. So I'm going to follow them because I'm thinking that like it's going to work for me. I'm thinking it might just work for me, you know? And that was the beginning. And then you start getting your life back. You get kids. You have to learn how to be a father. You got to learn how to like cut out the partying and deal with life without no drugs or alcohol. And then figuring out in the beginning that it wasn't everybody else and that I was the problem. You know what I mean? Like it was a problem. And even Nate said it, like my solution wasn't drugs and alcohol. I had to figure out that I was the problem and I had to fix myself. And like, sometimes it sucks looking at yourself. It really does. Like, I don't want to look at me. I am perfect. Okay. I am such a perfectionist. And yes, Caesar. Yes. And it goes in my work too. Like legitly, like I am really bad with, being perfectionist in my life and it sucks, you know? And that's something I have to work on. Like, it's okay to screw up. It's okay. But, and with certain things, okay? But when you get your, you know, you get your life back and you have to deal with kids and like, man, raising kids, especially when you have a boy that's just like you, is probably, it's a hard thing, man. You want to punch yourself in the face every time, you know, because you could see yourself in him. I see myself in like my dad too. And there's certain things that I need to keep working on because I have to critique myself, man. I got to keep doing it because I see myself like in these downward spirals, man. I catch myself in these downward spirals. And like most of these people on here pointed out to me and they've helped me through a lot of this stuff. And like, I'm actually doing okay right now. And like, I feel like stuff that used to bother me doesn't bother me as much anymore. Cause look, like Kelsey said, it's the pebbles. It's not the boulders. It's the freaking pebbles, man. It's the little baby things. The stubbing your toe, man, I would go get high off that. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to stop at a store and get a beer because you had a bad day. It's easy to go hit your boy up and get something because like work was hard. Work was hard. That was my excuse. Like, I'm tired of living like that, man. Like, go through it. That's where the freaking growth comes from, is when all those little pebbles add up and you keep going through it. You keep going through it. And those boulders come and you're like, you know what I mean? And that's where the growth comes from. And like the shit that used to affect me before doesn't affect me anymore. I don't want to stop at a fucking store and grab a beer after work because I'm tired from doing my day job of drywall and I'm freaking hurting everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, it goes away after the morning or some ibuprofen. Ibuprofen actually works. Go figure. You know what I mean? It really does, dude. When I got my teeth out, like I got 9 teeth pulled at once. Listen, they gave me a script and I was like in my little brain right here. It sounded like a great idea to well, they gave it to me. I got a license. You know what I mean? They gave me the script. So it's like, I have a pass, right? But it's like, no, I'm going to take ibuprofen because I heard it works. And it did. So, and I that's what I did. And like, you know, it's the little things that like will throw me off. And I just don't want to lose what I have today. And I'm not talking about materialistic things. That's not even close. It's my relationships, my relationship with my wife. Like we've worked on that since I've been here. Like we were fucked up, man. We were almost separated. It was not going to work. But then we got married here, you know, 2.5 years later in recovery. And we've both changed as individuals. Like it goes out into the masses as it goes, you know? It's because all those little pebbles didn't affect me, you know? And I won't give that up, man. Me and my wife have the best relationship. I love it to death. My kids and me I mended relationships with my kids that I didn't have no part in their lives when they were younger, not a lick, because I was so fucked up that I didn't know how to be a dad. I didn't know how to mend relationships. Everybody else is the problem. Okay. Like it wasn't me. It was everybody else. And like, I'm perfect. And that's just not the way it is. I am flawed like a motherfucker. And, but dude, like, you know, I went to the Keys with my kids. Like a lot of things were not what I wanted to be. Like the plans, sometimes they go off course, you know, like being like, you know, that person where the plans are supposed to be this way and it goes, whoo, off in left field. Like I was just talking about it today. Like you have to be okay with those plans going off in the freaking left field, because not everything is going to work out properly. You know what I mean? But being perfectionist I am, you know, everything has to go properly or I'm just all fucked up. I get anxiety. I don't even know what to do with myself. You know what I mean? And that's just not the way life is. Like plans are going to screw up. Plans ain't going to go right. And you have to be, the acceptance part is where it comes into play, and being okay with it, you know? And life gets better, you know? Life gets better when you accept all those the little baby things. Like it really is the little baby things. Like I want my way. I could throw a fit real quick too, man. I'm a tantrum motherfucker, and my son is too. So I want to punch myself in the face. You know, my son would throw a tantrum. He'll get that, and that was me. Like I did it at 3.5 years ago. I went my way. You know, I'll still do it. Try me. You know, but I just. You know, it gets better over time, man. And the growth comes from all those little lessons of not getting your way, you know? So that's my 2 cents. Anybody want to add anything?
Ooh, I do.
I know you do, Caesar.
No, I just wanted to share this, you know, the whole thing's on perseverance, but everybody on here talks about their higher power, their source, their God. If recovery was just a smooth sailing, easy peasy thing, we never ran into any problems, no trials, no tribulations, would we even be doing any justice to our higher powers or our source to show the power that they've had in our lives if we didn't have to overcome anything? Our testimony would be lame if we went, well, we put down the drink and drug and I got a house and life was good, man. It's pay my bills and that's it, no troubles. When we're able to share that we can make it through hard things that are hard for anybody to go through, and then you put all of our eccentricities and idiosyncrasies and weirdness on top of it, that is displaying the power that is working in our lives. For people like us to be able to get through the things that were shared tonight is nothing short of a miracle. And we get to share our miracle with other people every single day. People go to church their entire life and only talk about miracles they've read about.
Yeah.
We get to live a life where we see miracles every single day. And if that is not a blessing, I don't know what is. Like I stay hungry and excited for this recovery thing, because when I stay in the trenches, the miracles just pile on top of each other. And friendships turn into family. And it's an incredible thing, man. Like I get goosebumps talking about it. We're the most blessed people on earth. We've seen hell, so we truly know what heaven is. We can taste it.
We have to be smacked down to our lowest, and that's where the perseverance starts, is when you're smacked down to the very lowest you've ever been, and you reach for God in that moment. When all you have is God left, that is a powerful thing. Everything from there on, you know, I mean, to me, it's hard, but if God could get me through that, if I could persevere through that, I could persevere through anything. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yes.
No, but seriously, I mean, I go to a church where I shared my story in there, and they're like,
amazed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's the norm for us, you know, like we hear just lives that are in shambles get turned around to these beautiful lives. And it's the norm for us. And we don't realize how blessed we really are to be in the positions that we're in. We have tools that the regular people in the world would love to have. And we get them just because we were so broken that somebody had to hand them to us for free and go, man, you know, here's a hand. Let me pull you out of this. And then we get to turn around and be the same hand that pulls the next guy or girl out. It's, I mean, I love it. I love everything about recovery, and I love you guys. So thank you.
Love you too, Caesar. You know, I want to real quick talk about next Sunday. We're going to be doing an event. It's going to be a gratitude gathering, you know, and we're going to be doing it right after Thanksgiving because, you know what, we're all hyped up from Thanksgiving with families, or maybe not, I don't know, but we're all hyped up in it, you know, and it's a good time. It's like, it's the reason for the season to show gratitude, and what better way to do it with each other? You know, we're going to be
It's
doing.
going to be fun. People can log on, right? Like anybody can log on and say their gratitude. So it's
Yes.
a chance for everybody that always reaches out in the comments and wants to come on. Like everybody can jump on. I think that's a cool idea.
It is, and it's the first time we're going to be doing it, and I think it's an amazing idea. It gets everybody involved, and listen, we all just want to be involved, and it's going to be good because we're going to share gratitude with each other, and it's going to be just in the spirit of Thanksgiving. So it's going to be next Sunday, 8 p.m., and it's going to be on Zoom. I'm going to post the link inside the event. We have an event. There's a nice, colorful, cloud-looking gratitude thing. I actually really enjoyed the thumbnail. Thank you, Caesar.
I was just doing the hand motions.
Like,
I was
I
getting
thought you
into
did
the
the glow sticks for a
description.
second, bro. But yeah, I'm gonna post the link in there. If you guys want to go, just click on that link and just put going, and that way you guys get notified. And we'll have discussions on it. And it's gonna be a great event, man. I'm excited for it. So, yeah. Anyways, so and then this Missy Thing, which she's always on here, and she says fear and anxiety caught me a sanction. I didn't take a med that was prescribed to me. They say I violated Rule 20 in the program. Trying not to let the fear and anxiety of the unknown take me out. How crazy is it that she actually hosted a sober event? There was a comment up here that she did a sober event, and she set up the event and hosted it. And it was based on freedom from bondage of self. I don't know how drug court works up there, but if you get penalized for not taking a prescribed drug is what I'm looking at. That just seems weird. So I'm telling you, I wouldn't stress out too much about it unless I'm reading that wrong.
What happened?
I don't know.
Here, I'll put it back up. Can you read that?
Oh, I didn't take a med that was prescribed to me. They say I violated the rule.
I'm going to go ahead and say I have no opinion on somebody else's laws in their courtroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I can't advise one way or another. Actually, I'm going to say we can advise one way or another on somebody else's court situation, their mental health, any of those things.
But
Yeah.
I wouldn't get too in your head about it, you know, getting penalized for something like that.
Here's what I'll say. Do what you have to do so that you can do what you want to do. That's what they told me in rehab. Oh, you don't like it? Well, do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do.
You're reading it right.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah,
makes
if
sense.
there's something prescribed for mental health treatment, I can understand that.
Or just go through the motions. You're gonna be all right. Just keep going the course.
And you're going to persevere.
Persevere. Yes. Stay the course, persevere, you know. Anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. And we're gonna have our Addiction to Success this Wednesday. And
Ben
Johnny's
Marciano.
huh?
Ben Marciano. Ben M.
Yeah, we're
Who
gonna have
is one of my mentors in life, business, recovery, all those things.
He's
Yeah.
He's
cool.
got an amazing story.
So we're going to have an amazing story this Wednesday, 8 p.m. Come join us. And then remember to click that link in the event for the gratitude meeting. And we'll see you guys Wednesday.
Thank you, Kelsey.